Welcome to the world of TrinPod AI. Welcome to this deep dive. Today we're getting into something pretty special from the world of cricket. South Africa's massive win, the ICC World Test Championship Final 2025. And this wasn't just, any win. They beat Australia at Lord's, clinching their first ICC trophy in, 27 years. It's staggering, breaking that huge drought.
It really is. And what's great about the sources we're looking at today is the perspective. We're not just getting the scores, we're hearing straight from the players, like right after it happened, raw emotion. So our mission really is to unpack that feeling, the significance through their own words.
Okay, let's jump right in then. The emotion. That's what hits you first from these sources. You read about Kagiso Rabada, the veteran spinner, actually in tears. It tells you straight away, this was so much more than just winning a match. A massive release.
Yeah, release. Totally. And Captain Temba Bavuma, in the sources, he kind of explains why it was so emotional. He talks about it being a win for the whole nation. He said the support at Lord's was so immense it felt like playing at home. And he admits, the team's been knocking at that door for ages. They've had those big tournament heartbreaks before. So that relief you mentioned with Maharaj, the sources suggest it's tied directly to finally getting over that hump, the weightlifting.
Right. But in the actual match, under that kind of pressure, how did they, handle it? The sources give some amazing insights, like Aiden Markram, player of the match, gets a duck in the first innings, comes back, hits a match-winning 100 in the second. Someone in the sources called it unfreaking believable.
Oh.
I mean, that kind of turnaround says so much. Resilience.
And what I found really interesting was how they described the very end, the winning moment. Kyle Verreynne, who hit the runs, apparently said he was incredibly nervous just before, didn't really want to bat.
Wow, really?
Yeah. And David Bettingham, who was out there with him, admits he wasn't exactly calm at the start either, but they got through it. The sources show it wasn't about not feeling nerves, it was pushing past them together.
And that collective thing comes through elsewhere too. Marco Jansen's perspective from the change room. He mentions the tension inside, everyone feeling it, but also hearing the crowd outside, roaring for every ball. That mix of individual pressure and that huge external support, that's, as Jansen put it, what dreams are made of.
Yeah, then you have Kagiso Rabada adding another angle. Real pride. He talks about proving doubters wrong, beating the acknowledged best team. It wasn't just a win. The sources show it felt like validation, especially given that 27-year gap. It was a win against that whole narrative of them falling short.
So when you pull all these threads together, the tears, the national pride, battling nerves, needing that validation, what picture do the sources paint?
Unity, I think. Maharaj specifically mentions seeing it over the last 5 days and throughout the season. Standing strong through adversity. That phrase really captures it. Facing down the match situation, but also the history. And he even talks about honoring players who came before. So it connects this win to a much bigger story for South African cricket, as the sources lay out.
Which brings us back to you listening. Why is this so compelling? Why dive into these raw words?
Well, I think it's because you get this direct line into everything colliding at once. Nearly 3 decades of waiting, huge national hopes, and then the gut-wrenching pressure of those final moments. You're not just told it was big. The sources let you feel just how much this meant, layer by layer, to the guys who achieved it.
So, yeah. From the raw emotion, the national weight, the individual struggles with pressure, to that theme of unity against the past, the sources give us a real inside look, breaking the drought.
And maybe the most hopeful note from the sources is looking ahead. They talk about this win not just as the end point, but as a stepping stone for greater things to come.
Yeah.
It suggests this huge moment could actually be a launch pad.